and he was a big part as to why Na'Vi were able to take that win. So one way to deal with the really likes of Orianna is going to be open into the mid lane position. The Yasuo that was also really strong last game from Trovo Nova, but unfortunately did fall off pretty heavily. Misfortune also being open for this one. And so then he got forgotten about, but only one player can play Varus really well, and that's Hydro. And he's on the side of Trovo Nova. So he knows exactly how to deal with this respective pickup, because otherwise all the other players that I've seen play Varus, I'm not gonna lie, it sucked. It did nothing at all. But the Chain of Corruption, if you time it correctly, especially with a wombo combo of Kennen engaged, Rakan engaged with the Grand Entrance and the Charm, the Cyclone also on the Wukong, the amount of CC wombo combos that can happen for Na'Vi with the Chain of Corruption alone is really strong. But the execution side of things for Varus is that he loses relevancy when it comes to doing really strong damage, because that poke can be rather hard to hit. But Varus, I said it, is going to be one-hit wonder. If he's able to get
that Feather Storm, right? He has that untargetable phase. So if those Chains of Corruption are going to land over towards the AD carry, they can just try and get away from that. And that is what makes Xayah so valuable, is the ability to go untargetable, to have such high mobility. Not only that, but the route that's on the backline. So if you can bait Na'Vi into moving towards you when you've got those feathers down, that is dangerous territory. That is dangerous ground. And if you step wrong on it, you are going to go down. So we'll have to see how this Xayah operates. We haven't seen it so far today. We'll see how it plays into this matchup. Corki in the mid lane. I'm happy about that.
I like it. There you go, Corki. You've been asking for it many times today, and you're finally going to have your mid lane Corki. And against Orianna, because of the base mobility, he can be able to deal with that kind of early poking and pressure that Veos can apply with this overall champion. Though, I'm looking at the two compositions here, and one thing that stands out to me instantly for Na'Vi, they are hella squishy. Like, really, they're gonna struggle later on in the game if they do not get an early lead, especially because you're gonna have this Camille. And Camille, we said many times, the Hectic Ultimatum into that Corki is gonna make it so hard for him to play around that base mobility that is normally what makes Corki and makes him good, is that he can just move around super easily with the Valkyrie also. But especially Camille in this draft, I think is super good for Trovo Nova, but it's mainly going to be down to execution. And if they can just execute on that one properly and get themselves a, not really a lead, but stay even Steven until they hit level 5 power spike, that is where Trovo Nova can start building a little bit of an advantage for themselves.
Olaf just farming up, opposing on the side of Ghost as well. Both junglers playing fairly passive. We haven't seen too many early ganks coming through so far. Health going a little bit low over in that mid lane for Sky, but it is traded fairly evenly. Both junglers now stacked up towards that top side, contesting the scuttle. Obviously, when you go on the same path, it's going to be going your way. A little bit of damage there found over from the clone onto Vex, but traded off for the scuttle. That's more than worth it.
So didn't talk too much about the early Drake. First Drake is going to be Cloud, which, especially with the type of mobility composition played around for Na'Vi, that Cloud Drake can make matters a little bit easier for them to make their mobility even more draining for Trovo Nova to deal with. So I think that here, that with Cloud Drake would be really strong for them. But Trovo Nova, of course, they like to take those early Drake fights. So if they can avoid giving it away for free, I'm sure they will definitely do so. So not really much to really break down in this game. So overall, so in terms of vision, we're going to talk a little bit about vision here. The vision control from both teams, especially in the jungle Riverside, is going to be strong. But both scuttles actually went the way of Trovo Nova. So that's going to be making it a little bit hard for them to deal with, though. Vex is going to go for gank in the top side.
Oh, Garen flashes forwards with the Slicing Maelstrom. A beautifully executed dive. But can he get away from Vex here? Not going to have the Lightning Rush available for just a moment. The mid-wave not quite pushed in. A beautiful brush dupe, but will it be enough? Undertow sails clean in and actually flashes over it. Will not have it available. Barrier gets popped for Garen, but the red buff burn will be enough. And that will be one chase down. Kennen burnt the flash and the ult under turret, but Vex has to invest perhaps more than he'd like to get the kill in return.
Even if that went any further, there was going to be the Scuttle speed boost that was going to come out, and it was just no chance Garen, without his ulti, was going to survive that encounter whatsoever. So that is going to be a one-on-one trade-off so far, but the first blood did go the way of Garen. So he's going to be happy about that one. An extra 500 gold in his pockets, so he's going to be looking set. But the gold lead, talking about that one, is non-existent. Nothing's going to happen. Of course, we're only 3 minutes in, and these two teams have been playing rather respectfully from each other. So no big invades, nothing too substantial really coming out from two of these guys. So we're going to be looking. Drake is going to be up in the next 40 seconds. Oh, that poking coming out from Sky is detrimental, and Veos is really struggling there. But as I said, the Drake is going to come up in now 30 seconds. So you should be starting to see both of these teams setting a reset into play. But Sky, got to be careful. Level 6 is up. He's going to go for the heal. Okay, a little bit scary there.
Jeez, that was far too close for comfort. The Shockwave is available, but mana quite low for Vejos. Now look at the amount of collapsing going on towards this top side. Garen doesn't have the Slicing Maelstrom available. In comes the Hextech Ultimatum, and that is going to be a dead Kennen. There's no way he gets out of this one alive. I'll eat my hat max if he does, but that's going to be going down. But the question is, what can be taken in response? The ping's immediately going down onto that Drake.
Only Zai's going to be there. Hydro's going to be putting that ward down, but seemed like Na'Vi, they know that there were so many resources popped into the top side of the lane that they could normally take themselves this Drake uncontested. So that is what they're going to be doing. But the thing is, a Cloud Drake is not as important as an Infernal one. So they could trade actually a tower for Drake. Xcandrel, I talked with him many times, and you think he is super viable. And here, this is actually a really good call from Trovo Nova, but Drake's going to be currently 4 over.
Might not even be traded for free there, as they are going to be able to pick it up, but they're trapped in the Dragon Pit. Ghost gets away with the Shadow Clone there. Actually, Olaf going down in the top side, so they don't even get the turret going down. So a very good pickup there, coming through from Na'Vi to protect their turret, to make sure that they are going to stay alive. It is very low, so it will be a relatively free pickup on if there's some good wave management coming through from Trovo Nova. But all in all, Na'Vi win that exchange.
Good stuff from Na'Vi overall. They're going to be able to keep that turret alive. Maybe not for too long, but Clemmer, he's just in a bush where there's actually a ward that was set up earlier from Garen. So he's going to be spotted out. The wave is going to be currently crashing on forward. So hopefully he can get that tower. That's going to be some extra gold feeding into their pockets. But that was also a few ultimates getting popped away for Na'Vi in the just past few seconds, actually. Garen, Mumu, and also Sky, they're also going to be used up. But Sky's going to get his ult back on board.
In the top lane.
The top lane, the fight's going to happen.
The dive.
Oh, yeah, nothing that Garen can do.
Away. They're going to go for this turret again. They do have Ghost to worry about in the sidelines, but really not too much you can do in a 2 versus 1 here. Tries to go in on towards Vex, gets the lightning there. The Cyclone comes through. That's a lot of damage. Has to pop the Ragnarok, and in comes Sky to pick up the pieces. Beautifully executed there as Ghost buys his time perfectly. But over in the bot side of the map, Max, they are putting pressure down on that bot side turret. So again, this is heads up play. It's trading pressure across the map. You know, you might lose those 2 players in the top side, but you get a turret for it. Are they going to be able to take it down before Garen comes on through, gets that Slicing Maelstrom? Okay, the Shockwave sees to it that the disengage comes through. 2 turrets found across the map there for Trovo Nova.
I like this from Na'Vi. They were trying to actually push the wave in mid heavily. They're going to get himself normally 1 play off of that, I believe. They're going to get it. There you go. Extra gold going in their pockets. But overall, that was a little bit too slow, though. Vex got to be careful, not going to take that one and commit just yet. But I think the overall idea from Na'Vi here was strong. Is like, okay, we're going to lose bottom lane tower. We're going to try and get mid tower because we all know that those are a lot more impactful. But unfortunately, Wukong and also Corki are not known as being able to take down those towers too quickly. So it's not going to really work as planned for them for the time being. But though Herald's going to get focused upon by Na'Vi, and that's an instant response from Trovo Nova as they make their way forward into the Riverside.
Na'Vi lost an entire wave in bot lane just to try and start Herald, and it didn't even happen. I don't know what the decision was there, but Na'Vi not really looking as heads up as they were in the last game in terms of that wave management. Looks like Herald will be taken by Trovo Nova either way as the bases come through from the Corki. This will go down too fast for them to respond.
They can't do anything, and they're just going to be pushing mid-tower. I think this is actually potentially a really good trade-off, but even then, they're just too slow. They can't take it. They tried it twice in a row, and Na'Vi are just not able to make it happen. Trovo Nova are just putting too much pressure around this mid and also towards the Riverside, and they are making Na'Vi just cry a little bit in the corner of the map. They are not having a good time whatsoever. So Wukong also could be careful. Going to encounter Grizz for a second, and it seemed like Veloci wants to go for the engage, maybe try and snatch away a few jungle camps, but unfortunately not going to be able to get it just yet. But yeah, this mid tower, Na'Vi are really giving it their best shot, but unfortunately, by how good the macro and the map control has been from Trovo Nova, 2 towers have already fallen, and if Trovo Nova, with this Herald, use it properly, with an Infernal about to spawn, they could not only find an extra tower, but split the team pressure of Na'Vi and just easily get the next Infernal Drake for themselves. So this next Herald usage from Trovo Nova could be the undoing of Na'Vi if they execute it properly.
Na'Vi over push into the bot turret as well, which means that the wave is going to bounce back towards Na'Vi's bot turret. It's good if you're trying to sit there and farm, but not if you have to pay attention to the objectives. Over in the top side, however, there's the Hextech Ultimatum. A lot of damage coming through, but Garen pops the Slicing Maelstrom. Damage traded in response, and in comes Ghost. The flash burn on both sides. Really heads up there from Clemmer. Knows exactly what he needs to do. He gets out, not scot-free, but by the skin of his teeth, rather. And will be able to get away with the kill. No Slicing Maelstrom available for this dragon fight. That's crucial.
And that's why Camille's just so good at split pushing. Hook shot to save, TP yourself in a really good spot, and also she is amazing in those 1v1 scenarios thanks to the Hectic Ultimatum. But now Drake, as you called it, is going to be currently up. That's going to be an initiation. Trovo Nova do not want to give it up whatsoever, but they're not going to be there as a full team. Camille a little bit far behind, but same for the Kennen, and seem like Trovo Nova are not going to commit because especially the Scuttle was there, granting all the vision that Na'Vi require.
Might need a little bit more, though. There comes the redemption over the top of the Drake to try and get it done. There's the package to split the fight, and a lot of damage on towards the Alistair, who tries to just zone everybody away. A kill found over towards the Rakan, but it's going 1-for-1 right now as Zarya falls. Vejos low. Shockwave found, but Vex now trying to pick up the pieces on the back foot and not even able to take down Skye. The level up saves him. Beautifully done there from Na'Vi. They split the fight up, and they pick the pieces back together. Only now Camille left, and Clemmer very, very low, has to hook shot over the wall. Herald was put into the mid lane, and it might not even be able to get the turret. Does manage to make it full, but now Na'Vi need to catch those waves. The top side, that's going to be dealt with by Garen. Send Skye over towards the bot lane, and you've got pressure across the map.
Druzy's Grand Interest was absolutely amazing in there. Just able to get himself a 2-man knockup onto 2 extremely valuable targets, especially that was down to the hands of Hydro. Able to get him in a really bad spot, and then the follow-up was just so well executed. Na'Vi did scare me a little bit initially because they did spread themselves rather thinly, and it was really hard for them to potentially take that fight head on. Then their composition was just so good as to work in together and synergize in their ultimates. It worked out amazingly well, and Trovo Nova here are just falling behind in terms of damage at this stage. The gold lead is still non-existent. It's still rarely even between these two teams, but especially thanks to that Infernal Drake, the late game scaling of Na'Vi in terms of damage is going to be rather scary, and seeing how much damage is inherently built into their composition, especially into Skye, and he's been popping off already this entire game. He's currently standing 5-0-2 for his KDA. That Infernal Drake is just going to make matters even easier for him. So if you do not have a way of pinning down Skye, you're going to lose that fight, which is why you need that Hectic Ultimatum on top of the Corki. That is the reason why Camille's in your draft in the first place, but so far I haven't seen them execute on it properly.
Over the bot side, slicing Maelstrom, Hextech Ultimatum. This is a story, a tale as old as time, Max, and the dive goes well. Trovo Nova able to get the pick yet again, but they're trying to trade in the mid lane. They'll be able to do it successfully. They will go 1-for-1 across the map with the mid turret falling as well. Now the collapse towards the bot side as Skye chasing on towards Vex. In comes Juicy as well for the backup, and it will be another kill found. The Olaf, not long for this world, is running for his life, but it's going to sail wide of another one. Vex, are you going to be able to get away with this? The undertow slowing Skye, and now has the final rocket. Not quite able to land the kill. Has to Valkyrie forwards. Looks for a little bit more, but over towards the rest of the fight. Alistair jumping on towards one of the players from Na'Vi, and they're going to continue it over towards Mumu, but not having the damage there. Really not going to play well for them. In sails Skye on the backside, and we'll just be able to shut them down finally. And the Zarya will be soon to follow. Na'Vi with a little bit of a mess there coming through towards the bot side, but they're able to pick up the pieces yet again and find themselves once more in the advantage.
Seeming like you're going to be seeing here Mumu giving back a little bit of his own medicine back to the man himself, Hydro, that was playing an amazing Varus in the last few days, but now is going to be turning the tides in his favor. Mumu seemed like he can not only play Misfortune. That was a little bit mean, actually, the way I put that. But sorry, Mumu. I feel bad, man. But he is playing still really clean game on that one, especially that
Max Flame Emperor of the Rift. Jesus,
bro. Sometimes I do. Okay, it feels good. I'm a little bit mad because before this I ate a yogurt and I took the lid off the yogurt and I threw the yogurt in the bin instead of the lid. So I got a little bit mad. Okay, it happens.
That's understandable. Package over the sidelines. It seems like Na'Vi continue to be just as angry as you are, Max. They immediately burn down the Orianna, looking for a second. A double kill found now for Skye over in that mid lane. There comes the Feather Storm and the Blade Caller to try and get them rooted down, but that's so much damage. Mumu just steps forwards with not a fear and not a care in the world. A double kill found for 2 of the players on Na'Vi, and this is the beginning of the end for Trovo Nova.
Especially now, thanks to Baron is going to be up. That's going to be an easy pick for Na'Vi. That is set in stone. Their path is laid out in front of them as to what they should be doing. There's still a little bit of a presence with that vision, but you know that Camille, unfortunately, there's not much you can really do solo into this fight. Going to be taking a 1v1 though versus Garen.
Okay. I mean, we've seen him get that Hextech Ultimatum onto the cannon so many times and get the kill, but it just doesn't seem to be enough. You can get all the kills you want on this Camille, but it's just not going your way overall. You can see that Corki now 904 max, 14,000 gold in the pocket there. That is sat 5k over anybody else on the enemy team. So a massive presence in these fights for Skye. Just absolutely brutal. As well as a 603 Varus going for the AP build as well.
Yeah, he's set. Sky is just in such a good position. It's so hard to deal with, especially at this stage of the game. His itemization too is hitting that power spike ages ago. He's just so hard to lock down. And especially we have not seen the Hectic Ultimatum. He's always been on top of Garen. I mean, I get it. You don't want him to maybe get access to the backline, but at the end, that is not your target. That should not be your point of focus, as that is the easiest Drake I've ever seen. That's going to be Na'Vi picking up their third Drake in that game. They got Cloud, Inferno, and Mountain. And they're just trying to get themselves a lead while not being overzealous whatsoever. This is a Na'Vi that's been really respectful of Trovo Nova, being very cautious of how they approach these situations, and are not giving anything up to chance or to... They just don't want to make a mistake, which I gotta say, I'm loving how Na'Vi is playing this so far. As maybe they're on the bot side, they still got the Baron buff, so they're going to be able to push a little bit more efficiently. But especially this Camille, she's not been able to split push as heavily as she would have liked to. And because of that, Camille is heavily losing a big portion of her impact.
If you're Trovo Nova, what's your win condition here? I mean, you need to stop Sky in these fights, but there's so much more threat coming through. I mean, just from Garen alone, he's going to take you down. And I mean, they've sent Camille to deal with that multiple times to try and sort of burn that out of the fight early. But even so, Trovo Nova, you know, what can they do here, Max?
Trovo Nova here, just it's just what do you want to do? It's just such a big lead from Sky, and if they do not do the Hectic Ultimatum on him, I just don't think that they can window. Or Sky, man. Okay, he scared me a little bit there. I thought he was going to get potentially headbutt pulverized.
He's got the package.
Yeah, he's got the package too. He should be good to go. But there you go. Package going to be used under onto Viros. Zone him away from the tower. That's an easy pickup going away of Na'Vi once again. And let's not forget that here, Trovo Nova are the... Oh, they're in the top side. It's going to be a little bit of a fight. And Kennen loses it 1-1 versus the Camille, unfortunately. But just to set the scene once more, this is Trovo Nova, the undefeated team in the Mobile Mayhem tournament. And they might be losing their very first match versus Na'Vi, which would be a huge upset when you think about it.
I mean, Na'Vi have been stepping up to the plate, as you say, across the tournaments in Europe. Grizz wants to chase Ghost here, and actually Camille putting a lot of pressure on this top turret. Will be able to take it down. Ghost shouldn't be able to contest it. Will be able to get the scuttle, though. So top river presence will be okay for now. Now Na'Vi can remount. They've got that pressure in the bot lane. They've taken down that inhib turret on the dragon side, so they can have some prio when it comes to this next Baron.
There you go. Call me during my water break right there. Hey,
man, you're staying hydrated, and that's something I can respect.
Hey,
okay.
Do you want my pro gamer tip? Don't get yourself just some normal water. Get yourself some flavored water without sugar in it. Got some flavor, and is also good for yourself. There you go. Pro tip.
I'm pretty sure that's a lie, but anyway, we're going to go for the change of corruption straight into the middle of the fight for Na'Vi. Headbutted away, though, and Mumu repositions to safety. Healing coming through from absolutely everywhere, it seems, and Trovo Nova just falling like flies right now. And they are going to get taken down. Sky with an aggressive Valkyrie gets that final kill, gets the triple, and that's going to be Na'Vi sealing the deal. A 2-0 over the previously undefeated Trovo Nova. Na'Vi stamp their mark on Europe and say exactly what they're here to do, and that's win, Max.
Finally, they only had 2 points before this one, and just in one game alone, they doubled their points of the past 2 weeks. I think that the win condition of Trovo Nova was not executed properly. I'm going to be keeping on talking about this, but the Hectic Ultimatum was never on the right target. It should be for Sky and Sky alone.